प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रद देवी सत्यवत्वै नमो नमः। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय, वृंदा देवी की जय। नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी, नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी, नमो नमः राधा कृष्ण सेवा कामो, एहि वृंद्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य विष्णु भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवत्वै नमो नमः। वृंद्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य विष्णु भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवत्वै नमो नमः। वृंद्याय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य विष्णु भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवत्वै नमो नमः। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय, वृंद देवी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, जय गौर प्रेमी श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री
Madhavananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jayo Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
ISKCON Scarborough is very delighted and very blessed to have presence of His Grace Madhavananda Prabhu, Mother Krishna Kunda Devidasi, and one of Prabhupada's disciple Lakshmi Muni Devidasi Mataji. We would like to show our respects to all these exalted devotees by actually offering their garlands from our heart, our respect and garlands. Thank you. His Grace Madhavananda Prabhu is a researcher, he does research, spiritual teacher, and he's a good writer. Prabhu was born in 1960 in USA. In 1979, Prabhu came in contact with Prabhupada's books, and actually he started doing chanting at that point, and he joined ISKCON Los Angeles in 1980. With the instructions of his spiritual master, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami, he moved to Odisha, India in 1993. Since 1994, Prabhu is doing her research work, giving lectures, guiding all the devotees, and publishing books, contributing to various ISKCON magazines like Back to Godhead, Journal of Vaishnava Studies, etc. His special interest is esoteric, Gaudiya topics, and also the sacred places of Odisha. So I'd like to request all of you to put your hands together to show your respect to Prabhu and other two exalted devotees. Thank you very much.
They have a saying in Orissa. Shri Guru Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste, all together. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavani Pastyatya Shakarine Vansha Kopachurubhyascha Vansha Kopachurubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vansha Kripa Sindhubhya Vansha Krishna Banu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Krishna Banu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarvam Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Mandamarvindadayatacham Ramatam samasitam Mulasundarantam Andapakoti kamaniya Visheshashobham Govinda Haripurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govinda Haripurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govinda Haripurusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananiyasya Sakalin Priya Priti Manti Kasyanti Bhanti Kalyanti Jiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Dwara Vigrahasya Govinda Haripurusha Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govinda Haripurusha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Vallabha ki jai. Jai Om Vishnuva Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Vaya Stotra Visata Shri Srimad Bhagavatam Svavaitana Ravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnuva Paramahamsa Parivajikacharya Vaya Stotra Visata Shri Srimad Divine Grace Singaguru Shivarati Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikoho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Bhakti Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Radhakund Shamakund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Shri Purushottam Ketra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Shri Shri Radha Gopi Vallabha Ju Ki Shri Jagannath Shri Baladev Shri Mati Subhadra Mai Sudarshan Ju Ki Shri Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Gaur Premanande Sabaliga Bhakta Vrinda Ki All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Shyayanam Janashalakaya Chakshurvindidham Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Ramayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakavan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanditam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kapadalubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
I'm from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is, chapter 17. Chapter 17. Books, okay. Text number 14. 17, 14. I'll say the Sanskrit. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Sochamajavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha Shariram Tapa Uchate. Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmins, the spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Godhead here explains the different kinds of austerity and penance. First, he explains the austerities and penances practiced by the body. One should offer or learn to offer respect to God or to the demigods, the perfect qualified Brahmins, and the spiritual master, and superiors like father, mother, or any person who is conversant with Vedic knowledge. These should be given proper respect. One should practice cleansing oneself externally and internally, and he should learn to become simple in behavior. He should not do anything which is not sanctioned by the scriptural injunctions. He should not indulge in sex outside of married life, for sex is sanctified in Scripture only in marriage, not otherwise. This is called celibacy. These are the penances and austerities as far as the body is concerned. Gora Draganya Gana Gota Guloruharam Goranga Gura Tamagopya Rakopa Briksham Gopala Gada Gatiram Yati Singha Goya Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namani. So Krishna is speaking about the importance of offering respect. And that respect takes place in different ways. We offer respect with our body, with our words, and with our mind. Krishna is describing here austerity, how we offer with our body. So devotees asked me tonight if I would say a little something about Sitastami, which happened a few days ago, and Rukmini Dwadasi, which was yesterday. So I chose this verse because I'd like to reflect something on the qualities of these particular ladies and why they're so important. Something about the qualities of women, the qualities of mothers. And in particular, I was thinking about the suffering and sublimity of motherhood, how practically integral with a woman's body, nature, comes suffering, and also sublimity, meaning glories, something very, very special. And there's two wonderful examples in front of us in the form of the life of Sita and the life of Rukmini. When Bhagavan, the absolute truth, wants to enjoy pastimes, then his Shakti, his energy, manifests a corresponding form to perfectly enhance those pastimes. So when Bhagavan wants to enjoy his Nara Leela, he becomes Maryada Vyatikram. Bhagavan Ramachandra, the topmost person of Veda Maryada, following strict rules and regulations of Vedic etiquette. And at that time, his Swarup Shakti, his potency, his Ladini Shakti, becomes Sita Devi. And we can understand there are different feelings for the Lord, evoked in different pastimes of the Lord. When Bhagavan comes as Ramachandra, then the mood that Sita has for him is called patitva. He's my pati. He's my husband. Whereas in the case of Srimati Radharani and the gopis, the love that they feel for Shyamsundar Krishna is known as Ramatva. That he's Radhika Raman. He's the enjoyer of Srimati Radharani. So one is patitva, it has that quality, atva, of pati, and the other is ramatva. Similarly, when the Lord manifests his pastimes as Ramachandra, he takes a vow of ekapatni brata. I'll only accept one wife, no more. And correspondingly, his Vladini Shakti, Sita, she manifests a particular mood, which is known as sopadika priti. She has priti, love for the Lord, but that love is sa-upadika. It's with upadis, with designations. He's my husband. Whereas the love the gopis have is nirupadika priti. It has no designation because they're married to someone else. So one is paitiki priti. It has a cause. He's my husband. I should love him. And the other is ahoitiki priti. One is swakiya. Swa means mine. Kiya, belonging to. And the other is para, someone else. Kiya, like we have the suffix iya in the word Gaudiya. What does it mean, iya, then, as a suffix in Sanskrit? It means someone who belongs to Gaudadesh. So Swakiya means someone who belongs to me, and married. Para means to someone else. Parakiya, they belong to some other person. And so Sita Devi perfectly manifests this mood to enhance the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. And there's so many wonderful pastimes with Sita, but we see in so many of these pastimes, there's an inherent tragedy in the pastimes of Sita and Ram. Sita comes and she marries Lord Ramachandra, and she moves into the palace in Ayodhya with him, and everything's very, very wonderful. Until Kaikeyi demands from Dasarath that you should fulfill the two promises that you gave me. I want you to banish Ram to the forest and put my son Bharat as the king. And as we know this wonderful story, Dasarath is crying and begging her, but no, she's very resolute. I won't change my mind. Her resolution and how that came to pass in Kaikeyi, who actually her love is greater than that of Kaushalya's. That's a very subtle and very esoteric discussion, another point that we should contemplate. How is it that the Lord's eternal associate, Kaikeyi, is going to do such a thing? Some say the demigods confused her mind, but how can we accept that? In one rare commentary that we found on Valmiki Ramayana, a Gaudiya commentary, it's described there that actually Kaikeyi loved Lord Ram more than Kaushalya even. And it wasn't that her interest was in Bharat, her interest was in Ram. How? When she saw that Sita married Ram, Kaikeyi became so very, very happy. So wonderful. Now my Ram has the best, most beautiful wife. But then when Sita came to Ayodhya, everything was very stiff and formal, lots of protocol. As soon as Ramachandra walks into the room, someone blows a horn. The Yuvaraj, Ramachandra has arrived, and everybody stands up and gives respect. And Sita and Ram couldn't be alone. Everyone was following him. And Kaikeyi was thinking, this is not good. And we sing, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha and Madhav, really, they should have their wonderful pastimes in a secluded kunj in Vrindavan, in the forest. And boys and girls, even to this day, they like to go walking alone in a forest park or something, isn't it? Kaikeyi, who was very romantic, who had such love for Ramachandra, as commentaries describe, she realized this is what should be done, and I can accomplish it. But if I do this, everyone will hate me forever. Okay, fine. But if I do this, my husband will die. Because Dasarath can't live without Ram. No problem. Let me do that, because Sita and Ram should be together in this great way. This is the mood of the Vaishnavas. Their desire to serve and please the Lord supersedes anything. And so she demanded these requests. And Ram said, yes, I'll go. And we know Lakshman said, I'm also going then. And then Sita, she said, I'll also go. Ram said, how is it possible? She said, look, you accepted my hand in marriage. You promised to protect me. You have to bring me. And so Sita went to the forest. But those years in the forest were actually very, very happy years for Sita, because she was able to spend so much intimate time with Ramachandra. But then we know so many things happened. And Ravan came and kidnapped Sita and he took her to Lanka. And then Lord Ramachandra, he came and fought against Ravan, and he killed Ravan. Sometimes we ask the question, how is it that Ravan, it took so long for Ramachandra to kill him? Was Ravan really so powerful that Ram just wasn't strong enough to kill him right away? It took so long? Can we accept that? It doesn't make sense to us. And we know from Valmiki Ramayana that he was cutting off the heads of Ravan, one after another. But every time he would cut off the heads, another head would come back. And so again and again, he kept cutting off the heads, and finally, right, he took one special Shakti arrow, and he put that to his bow, and he shot Ravan in the heart, and then Ravan immediately died. So the question comes, why didn't he just do that in the beginning? What's the need for all the drama? Right? Just take the first arrow and shoot him right in the heart. And the commentary describes that he couldn't. Ramachandra wasn't able to. What do you mean he's not able to? He's Swarat, he's completely independent. He's Sarva Shaktiman, he's the most powerful person. Of course he can do it. But he couldn't. Because he knew who was in the heart of Ravan. Sita. Ravan was meditating so much on Sita with his chitta, his consciousness. How could he shoot in the heart of someone who's thinking of Sita? Sita is so powerful. And so he had to wait until Ravan forgot about Sita. So he made Ravan very agitated. You'd also become agitated if people started cutting your head off again and again. Ravan became very agitated. And finally he forgot about Sita. And when he forgot about Sita, then Ramachandra took that Shakti arrow and put that to his bow. And he shot and killed Ravan. Because Sita, she's a Karuna Shakti of the Lord. She's a personification of Krishna, of the Lord's mercy potency. Srila Prabhupada describes a similar thing in Nectar Devotion about Srimati Radharani, that she's a personification of the mercy potency of the Lord. And when she's present, how could Ravan be killed? This is also Manavala Muni, who's one Acharya in the Sri Sampradaya. You may have heard of him. He describes that this is why Sita couldn't be there when Ramachandra killed Ravan. Because if Sita was there, she would say, no, stop. Be merciful to him. Be kind to him. That's the nature of Sita. So it had to be done when Sita wasn't there. Sita is so kind. So she suffered so long being in the captivity of Ravan. And Sita, she wouldn't even look at him. She took a blade of grass and she put that blade of grass between her and Ravan when Ravan would come to her, indicating that you're about as significant as this blade of grass. And my husband, Ramachandra, he's going to vanquish you. So much suffering in the pastime of Sita. And then finally, she's reunited with Ramachandra. What does Ram do? He won't look at her. And he calls for Lakshman. He says, Lakshman, you build a fire and put Sita on the fire, and we'll test her purity. That's a very terrible thing to be put in the fire, but worse than the fire is the fire of doubt that Sita felt, but from Ram. How is it? He has doubts in my nature, in my chastity. Ramachandra didn't have doubts in the chastity of Sita. He knew she was perfectly chaste, but he's Maryada Purushottam. He's the topmost personality of Veda Maryad, and he understood that if she's not tested, then the citizens won't have faith in her, and they won't have faith in me. And it's so important that the citizens have faith in the king and the leader. And even more than his love for his family, for his wife, he has this responsibility for the praja, for the citizens in the country. And Lord Ramachandra exhibited that. Lakshman wasn't very happy. But he couldn't say anything because Ramachandra was the older brother. Okay? So he built that fire and he put Sita on it. And we know that Agni took place and Sita was unscathed. And we also know from the Agni Purana that Agni Dev came out of that fire. And he put the real Sita there. It was a false Sita that was given to Ravan. And that's a whole other long story. And then Dasarath, the father of Lord Ramachandra, appeared and he declared that Sita is completely pure. She's completely chaste. You should accept her. So then Ramachandra, feeling very, very happy, accepted her. And they returned to Ayodhya to a joyous reception. And Ramachandra was staying with Sita there for some time, but because he's Maryada Purushottam, he's the perfect king, perfect husband, the perfect father, the perfect son, perfect in all regards. He realized, I must see what the citizens are saying. In also in the Valmiki Ramayan's one story we were telling recently, I won't go in that direction so much now, but Lord Ramachandra one day told Lakshman, you go outside and see if anyone has any complaints. He went out, called out, anybody have any problems? He came back, he said, brother, nobody's saying, and you go again, twice. This is how a leader should behave. You want to see, what do the people think? Now big corporations are starting to understand this. And they should ask that the employees and their customers, what do you think of our business? How can we do things better? It's the mark of a good king. So Ramachandra went out and he was listening to what all the different citizens had to say about him. And he went to one house and he saw there was a drama going on. There was a low-class washerman. And that washerman was shouting at his wife, I'll not allow you to come back in the house. Don't think that I'm some kind of wimp like Ramachandra. You've been gone all day, you've been outside for so long, now it's very late at night. Where have you been? I don't know. So I can't accept you back. So when Ramachandra heard this, he became very sober. And he went back to his palace. And later he called for Lakshman. He said, Lakshman, I have something I want you to do. And he told him, I want you to tell Sita that we're going to go for a forest picnic. But you're going to take her first. And I'll come later. And I want you to take her in the forest. And you leave her. And then you come back. After Ram Leela, Lakshman decided, forget it, I'm not going to be the younger brother anymore. It was very, very bad. It's described by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Chaitanya Charitamrita. They decided after that, I'm going to be Dauji. I'll be the big brother. So he came as Balta. And he came as Nitai. And he didn't take any instructions from Krishna or from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rather, he's the big brother. He can give instructions. Because a younger brother can't refuse what the older brother has to say. So Sita went to the forest and Lakshman began crying. And Sita said, what's wrong? It's so nice. I'm so happy to go to the forest again. It was such wonderful days we spent together in the forest. And Lakshman couldn't look at her. And finally he had to tell her that my brother told me that I have to leave you here. And Sita began to cry. How did this happen with Sita? In the 5th canto of the Padma Purana, there's some description given by Lord Ananta Sesh. He described what happened, why it is that Sita was banished like this. He told Vatsayana Muni that in the city of Mithila lived a great king, Janak Maharaj, who had this beautiful daughter named Sita. And Sita, as a young girl, she was playing in a forest, and she saw a male and female parrot, and they were talking in such a sweet way. She'd never heard such sweet talk before. The parrots were speaking, saying that on the earth, a very charming person whose name is Ram. He'll be the king, and his wife will be Sita. And that very intelligent, powerful king, he'll vanquish all of his enemies, and he'll rule over the earth for 11,000 years. Blessed is that King Ram, blessed is Sita. When Sita heard this Ram Lila Katha from these two parrots, Sita became so charmed and so attractive to that Katha. So she arranged to capture those parrots. And then she asked them, what is the meaning of their conversation? The two parrots, when they were captured, they became very frightened. And she comforted them. She said, please don't be frightened. I appreciate so much what you're saying. Please tell me, who is this Ram and Sita that you're talking about? Where did you hear about them? And the birds explained to her that we've been living near the ashram of the great Rishi, Valmiki Muni. We know from Valmiki Ramayana that Ram Lila was revealed to him before it took place. Because it's Nitya Lila. It's always going on. And so they said, we've heard from Valmiki, he's the greatest of sadhus, and he instructed his disciples to daily sing this Ram Lila. And so we heard those pastimes so many times and we memorized them. And so at the end, we'll tell you who that Ram is and who that Sita is and what will happen to the two of them. And so then they began speaking more Ram Lila. And Sita was asking them more and more questions. And then they realized that Sita, she'd become very, very attached to hearing from them. And those two birds, they described the beauty and the glories of Ramachandra. And Sita told them finally, she said, I'm that Sita, I'm the daughter of Janaki, who was speaking about. So I'm so pleased with you, and I would just like you stay with me. And I'll feed you nice pomegranates, nice mangoes and things. And you just speak Ram Lila. And then when Ram comes, and I get to see, then I'll let you go. And in the meantime, I'll take very good care of you. You'll be very happy, and I'll caress you and take care. But when they heard those words, those two parrots began to shake and tremble. And the female parrot, she told Janaki that, good lady, we're birds. We live in trees in the forest. We wander everywhere. And in that way, we're happy. We can't live being bound up in a cage, being bound in one place. And she said, besides, I'm pregnant. I promise that if you let me go, after returning to my place and giving birth to my young ones, then I'll come back. And although this female parrot, this Sari, she pleaded with Sita in so many ways because Sita couldn't tolerate to let her go because she's so attached to hearing Ram Lila. And then the male parrot, his face is hanging down, he said, Sita, you should let her go. Why do you want to keep my beautiful wife? We should travel together and be happy. And she's pregnant. And after she delivers her young, I'll also come to you. And then Sita, she told the male parrot, he said, you can go. I'll let you go. But I need to keep this lady parrot by my side because she speaks even more sweetly than you do. She's a better pracharak. She's a better at giving class than her husband. So that parrot, that male parrot, he told Sita, he said, Sita, I can't live without my wife. But please, release her. But Sita couldn't tolerate letting those two parrots go. She was so attached to hearing that Krishna Katha. She said, I'm sorry, I can't. So then that parrot's wife, the lady parrot, she became angry. And she cursed Sita. She said, just as you're separating me from my husband when I'm pregnant. So in the same way, when you become pregnant, you'll become separated from Ram. And then that parrot, who was feeling so much separation already from her husband, she said one word, Ram. And she left her body. And then seeing this, that his wife had died in this way, the male parrot, her husband, became very, very agitated and angry. And he went and fell into the Ganga and drowned himself. And his last words were, Sita, in my next life, I'll take birth in Ayodhya as a Sudra. And because of my words, Sita is going to be dejected and very unhappy. She'll be separated from her husband. And so he took birth as a washerman known as Krodha. Krodha means very angry, angry washerman. And because of his harsh words, Sita was censored and separated from Ram. And because of that washerman, Sita was exiled to the forest. So inherent in the pastimes of Sita, so much suffering. Similarly, there's also suffering in the pastimes of Rukmini. Rukmini was a daughter of Maharaj Bhishmaka, and she was in love with Narad Muni. She heard so much about him she was in love with Krishna. She heard so much about him from Narad. You're not supposed to love brahmacharis. Not good. She was in love with Krishna because she heard from Narad Muni. But her brother, Rukmi, had other ideas. No, you should marry Shishupal. And so she wrote a letter to Krishna. Please, this poor bird is suffering and is being tortured by these enemy Rajahamsa swans, and is praying that the great Ganesham, black clouds, will come and drive those Rajahamsa swans away, drive Shishupal away, and all those kings. Krishna got the letter and he wrote back and he said that Krishna is not interested in any other one, only in the Chikori birds of Vrindavan. This is his only interest. But then two of his devotees came and they pleaded with him, please go and rescue Sita. Krishna said, okay. Rupa Goswami describes this. Rukmini, thank you. I'm bad tonight. I've been in the car for 2 days. Please excuse me. My brain's not quite here. So Krishna went to where Rukmini was to be married. And per the tradition in the city there, Rukmini would first go to offer some oblations to Durga Devi. And they were performing a huge fire sacrifice with 10 million oblations in the fire. It was like a huge ocean of fire inside the temple of Durga. And Krishna entered into that place with strict security. No one was allowed inside without an invitation. But he entered in the dress of a dancer. And he went with his friend Garuda. And they went inside and they're looking at everything that's going on. And then Rukmini entered the assembly. And Rupa Goswami says at that time Garuda kind of took his elbow and hit Krishna in the ribs and said, hey, check her out. Wow. She's really, as men often sometimes do, she's really beautiful. And Rupa Goswami says that Krishna looked at her and said, it's true, she's beautiful. He said, but mere beauty doesn't attract Krishna. Krishna's not attracted by mere physical beauty. And then all of a sudden Krishna recognized, hey, this is my devotee. And it said that Rukmini at that time, she was going close to the fire, and she told her companion, her Sakhi, that you take care of that Kadamba tree, that Keli Kadamba tree that I planted after I leave. And she was about to jump into the fire and commit suicide. And Krishna saw this. And Krishna suddenly went running up there, and all of a sudden, just as Rukmini was about to jump into the fire and commit suicide, someone grabbed her. and she thought it was her girlfriend. Let go of me. And she put her hand to grab her girlfriend's hand and take it off, and it doesn't feel like a girl's hand. It's a strong hand of a man. And she turned and looked, and she saw Krishna. And she fainted in ecstasy. And so then we know Krishna took her on a chariot, and Krishna, in the midst of those armies, he took his conch shell and began to blow it, and Krishna began to fight with those powerful warriors. Srila Prabhupada was giving one lecture about this and said a very interesting thing. He said, how is it that Krishna could fight with all those warriors and still manage the chariot? Who was driving the chariot? And Prabhupada said, Rukmini was driving the chariot. Because she was a Kshatriya lady. She was doing something we might not consider to be very Vedic. But she is a great, powerful Kshatriya lady, and she was driving that chariot while Krishna was fighting with all those armies. So if we contemplate the situation or the nature of women in general, and we can see in the form of these two topmost ladies, Sita and Rukmini, that inherent practically in the nature of woman is some suffering and also sublimity. There should be respect, as Krishna is describing in this verse in the Gita. Many places in Shastra it describes the importance of respect to women. The Brahmavivarta Purana describes Mata eva sabdena yam chasambasate nara samati tuya satyena dharma sakshi satam api. That if someone addresses a lady as Mataji, sometimes you're mostly Deshis. I don't know, am I a Bideshi or a Deshi here? I think maybe I'm a Bideshi and you're Deshis now, because I'm visiting your place. But anyway. You're an Indian-bodied person. You understand this culture. But sometimes I've seen amongst the Western Hare Krishna devotees, they think almost Mataji is like a slur, like a bad word. All the Prabhus over here, the Matajis, you stay over there. It's like second-class citizen or something. That's what sometimes almost devotees have thought. Please excuse me for saying that, but almost that's what's been like sometimes in Islam. But the Brahmavivarta Purana says, hey, don't think like that. If you address someone as Mataji, then Dharma personified. Samatri tulya satyena. Dharma sakshi. Dharma sakshi. Dharma is the witness of that. Satamapi, and that woman becomes just like your mother. And you should give respect. In Sanskrit, the word mata means one who is honored. In Hebrew, the word mata is also there. Mata in Hebrew means a field of grains. Also something very, very special, something which is to be honored. In Old Scottish English, there's also the word mata. And the mata in Old Scottish English means a gift of God. Wow. It means something that's been given by God. So a very, very special word. It's not an ordinary word. And the Brahmavivarta Purana says, if you address someone as Mataji, that's a very, very special thing. Similarly, we may ask a question, why is it that we say Shishi Radha Gopi Vallabha? Is that right? Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
Why don't you say Krishna's name first? It's not fair. Why do you say Radharani's name first? There's a reason. In the Narada Pancharatra it's described. Ado samuchared radham paschat Krishnam chamadavam viparitam yadipatet brahma hatyam labedruvam. Ado, first of all, you say the name of Radha, and then you say Krishna or Madhav. Viparitam yadi, if you do the opposite, and you put Krishna's name first, then Brahmahatyam labedruvam, you get the result of killing a Brahman. Don't ask me how that works exactly, I don't know, but that's what it says in Narada Pancharatra. And why is that? The next verse describes, Shri Krishna jagatam tato. Tata means what? Means father. Shri Krishna jagatam tato. Krishna is the father of the universe. Jaganmata charadika. And Krishna is the father of the universe, and Radharani is the mother. Pitu sadguno mata vandya puja gariyasi. The mother is 100 times more worshipable and higher in point of respect due than the father. This is Vedic culture. So this is the nature of women. Inherent in women, in their body, they give birth. And that's a very wonderful thing. It's a very glorious thing. That person becomes, my mother is a goddess. I mean, she gave me birth. But inherent in that act also is the most terrible suffering. It's the greatest pain someone can experience. You give birth to a baby. So, in this way, inherent in a female body, even we see in the pastimes of Sita and Rukmini, is suffering and sublimity. Mata is the most worshipable person. In the Anusasana Parva of the Mahabharata, it said, Dasachaiva pitin mata sarvam vapiti vimapi goravanaviranati nasti matri samo guru mata gariyasi yachcha tenaitam manyate jana. That one's mother is equal to 10 fathers. Your mother is equal to the whole earth. There's no senior person equal to a mother. Indeed, she's above all others in point of reverence and respect due to her. It's for this reason that people offer so much respect to their mother. And you may say, well, Gurudev, what about Guru? Well, therefore it's said by Lochandas Thakur, Guru Mata Guru Pite, Guru Hanapati. Gurudev is my mother because he gave birth to me. Gurudev is my father. Father is someone who feeds me. He gives me Krishna Katha. He gives me instructions. Gurudev is everything. And first I compare Gurudev to my mother. And Gurudev is my supreme mother, my supreme father. But inherent within the position of mother is this special respect. So much respect is there. Maturat paradarishi. We should see all women, Prabhupada sometimes says, other than your wife, as mother. But even if you think about it in Vedic culture, if someone's a high-class man, he's not just an animal who wants to just try to enjoy some physical pleasure. A high-class man, when he looks to find a partner, a wife, he looks for someone who will be a good mother. And so immediately in that relationship there's respect. Because such respect is there for mother. And then after marriage, when a child is born, Vedic culture says that that father, he should consider, that now I've taken birth as this child. So she's become like my mother. My wife has become like my mother. So inherent again in that relationship is so much respect. And in this way we can see in both Vedic culture, traditionally in India and in the West, women are worshipped in both places as goddesses. And they have deities in both places. I've seen in India, you go to many temples, there's Devi, there's Durga, there's so many different Shaktis. And also here, when you go past the shopping centers and you see the mannequins, the billboards, they have so many goddesses here also. And here, young ladies are worshipped as goddesses when they're, 12 years old, 13 years old. The boys start falling behind them, panting like dogs. And they offer flowers to their feet and chocolate and different types of worship. Instead of incense and ghee lamp, they offer chocolates and movie tickets and whatever like that. And life is good for most young ladies as a goddess. Until they become a little older, they have a few too much pizza and ice cream or something, they become a little bigger. And then, because we live in a garbage culture, right, everything that we purchase, we have this concept that this cell phone, maybe it'll last 3 years, and then I'll throw it away. So we have this, it's a garbage culture. And so similarly with relationships. Anyway, she's a beautiful woman, I'll marry her. And if it doesn't work out, she becomes a little fat, I'll get rid of her and get a younger model. Get a new one. That's the culture that we live in today. And so inherent in the Western conception of goddesses, and the young girls get to be goddesses. It's nice to be a goddess, isn't it? Yes. It's very nice. But inherent, there's also a lot of fear. He's treating me like a goddess, but maybe he's going to like some other goddess better than me. Or maybe I become a little too fat or something because I have a few children, and now he's going to look for a younger model. or something and get rid of me. And so there's some fear in that. Whereas we see in India, in traditional Vedic culture, women are respected as mothers, but the older they get, the bigger they get, the more we love them. The more respect that they're given. And they're happy and they're peaceful. In societies where women are not given proper respect, sacrifice doesn't go on properly. Many times people, they like to quote Manu Samhita. We should understand what Manu Samhita says in this regard. In the third chapter, text 55 of Manu Samhita, it says, Pitibri Bratribis Chaita Patibir Devaraishtata Puja Bu Sayuta Vritas Cha Bahu Kalyana Mitsubi. If someone wants some kalyana, some auspiciousness for themselves, then they should honor and ornament. Ornament part is also important. Their wives, their daughters, their mothers. If you want to have your own welfare in mind, you should do that. Because, why? The next verse describes, Yatra naryastu pujante ramante tattadevata, where those ladies are given honor and respect. Ramanti tattadevata. Then the devatas, they become satisfied. They're happy. Yatraitastu napujante sarvas tatrafala kriya. And where they're not given respect, then there's no sacred yajna, which is successful. Any society, any culture that doesn't give proper respect to women, any kind of religious activities that you do in that society, according to Manu Samhita, they're not going to bear proper fruit. It said, again in Manu Samhita, Sochanti janmayo yatra vanashyat yasu tat kulam na sochanti tu yatraita vardate tadhi sarvadan. Where the ladies in the community or the family are very unhappy, then that family or that community very soon perishes. It can't continue. And where they're happy, then that family or that community becomes successful. Therefore, tasmad eta sada puja. Always men should give honor, puja, to ladies. Bhusanan chadana sanai. Bhuti kama naraya nityam sat kareshu savasucha. And how do they do that? Especially on holidays and festivals. They should give ornaments, nice clothes, and nice sweets to ladies. That's Vedic culture. And then we see like this in the villages to this day. They're giving some respect because any progressive community, any progressive society is based on feelings of respect and appreciation. Without those feelings of respect and appreciation, society can't go on. And according to the concept that the society has of the purpose of life, we're going to give corresponding types of respect. I'll give you another example of this. We were mentioning Lochandas Thakur. He's a disciple of Narahari Sakar. And when he was a young boy, maybe 5, 6 years old, they got him married. Could you imagine that? Hello. How old are you?
I'm 10.
You're 10. My God, you're very old. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's first wife, I think she was 5 years old. She was 8 years old when she got married. But in that system, the young girls, they would stay at their home. And it was a different culture. Sometimes in our society we say, well, child marriage should be there, something. Prabhupada said good things about it. But that's also in a culture where everyone is doing like that. On the other hand, sometimes I see in the news and things in the West, they say, oh my God, child marriage, that's so terrible. Well, people here, sometimes we have a kind of cultural bias. We can't appreciate and respect other different cultures. But the culture that we live in today, it's not done. Practically even in India, it's not done like that anymore. But Lochandas Thakur, he got married when he was 5 or 6 years old. He's a little boy. And his wife was a little girl. They're children. So they weren't living together. The little girl was living at home with her parents, and he was living at home with his parents. But because he was such a wonderful devotee, he's always thinking of Krishna, he wasn't very interested in marriage and things like that. And so he was not going to visit his wife, his little child wife. And so her parents finally complained to Narahari Sarkar, his guru, hey, your disciple, he's being a badmash, rascal. He's not taking proper care of his wife. You should go and see her. She's trying to offer you something. So Narahari Sarkar called for Lochan Das. Hey, you go and see your wife. It's your responsibility. You're married and you have to take care of her. Yes, Guru Maharaj. But he went to the village where she lived, but he couldn't remember where her house was. It'd been so long since he'd been there. And he just so happened he saw a little girl in the street there in that village, and he asked her, do you know where such and such girl lives? She's my wife. Yes, I know her very well. I'll take you to her house. And so she started leading Lochan Das to the house. And when she got to the house, and suddenly Lochan Das realized, oh, this little girl, she's my wife. But Lochan Das, when he saw her, he asked her, Mataji, can you please take me to the house of such and such? He addressed her as Mataji. And so sacred is that phrase, Mataji, that after saying that, Lochan Das said, oh, now I can't touch you. I have to give respect because I've addressed you as my mother. Such a sacred conception there of mother. I'd like to just finish, if you can, if it's okay with everyone, with another story. Is that all right?
Yeah.
From Chaitanya Bhagavat, which illustrates this point very, very nicely. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned from Gaya after being initiated by Ishwar Puri. And when he returned from Gaya, he began the Sankirtan movement. And he began that Sankirtan movement by calling the devotees one day, and he told them that we're going to have a drama in the house of Buddhimanta Khan. Thank you. And all the devotees are invited. He called for all the devotees. We're going to have the special drama in the house of Buddhimanta Khan. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, no one is allowed to go except for persons who don't have sex desire. All the men were quiet. And Advaita Acharya, who's Sadashiva avatar, the personality who defeated Cupid. Advaita Acharya, he shook his head and said, I'm not going. Forget it. And Srivas Thakur, who's Narad Muni, avatar, the incarnation, he said, I'm also not going either. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, what's going on? This is not good. No one's going to come to the drama. So he said, okay, I'll give a special benediction. Whoever comes to this drama, they'll be free from sex desire. Okay. So everyone went. All the ladies, everyone in the village was there. Sachimata was there. And all the different devotees in Navadvip. And Haridas Thakur came out in the beginning of the drama. He had a stick in his hand. He said, I'm the chokidar. He looked out at everybody in the audience and said, anybody who falls asleep, whack them on the head. Very useful for Bhagavatam class. And then the drama began. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out onto the stage in the form of Mahalakshmi Devi. His mother, Sachi Devi, was sitting, and she was sitting next to Srivas Thakur's wife, Malini, and she said, who is that? Oh, that's your son. That's my Nimai. Because it wasn't Nimai, but it was Mahalakshmi. Because you see, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha Bhava Dhyuti Sivalitam Nomi Krishna Sarupam. He is a combined form. He's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. He's a combined form of Radha and Krishna, and the mood of Srimati Radharani is predominant in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's not like just a costume that an actor wears on the stage. It's much, much more than that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested Lakshmi Devi there on the stage. And he began to manifest forms of so many different consorts of the Devatas and Lord Vishnu and different wives of Krishna and Dwarka and Srimati Radharani. And Vrindavan Das Thakur says, I'll sing this, you can chant Hare Krishna in response. Kripa Jala Nidhi Prabhu hoila sabare, sabara janani baba hoila antare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is the beginning of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. When all the devotees saw him in the mood of a mother, then Kripa Jala Nidhi Prabhu Hoila Sabare, he became like an ocean of mercy to everyone. And Sabara Janani Bhava Hoila Antare, everybody in their heart, they thought, this is my mother. They accepted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as their mother. Paraloka hoite jena aila janani Asande krandana kore avana jani. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, all the devotees present, they felt like my mother's come from the spiritual world. And they all began to cry and cry in ecstasy. Jaganarayani Shakti Jagajanani Sei Sabahai Jache Vaishnavi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Jatananayani Shakti Jagata Janani. A very, very important verse, very, very profound. That all the energies of Narayani, who is Narayani? Narayani is the mother of the universe. Who else is called the mother of the universe? Shri Radha Jagata Mata. She's the mother of the universe. And Narayani is a name for Radharani also. So it said that Vrindavan Das Thakur says that all the energies of Narayani have appeared as, say, Sabahoi Jati Vaishnava Grihini. They've appeared as the wives of the Vaishnavas. Those Vaishnavi ladies, they've all appeared as different manifestations of Srimati Radharani. This is what Vrindavan Das Thakur says. And listen to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's commentary. He says, all the women of this world are Narayani's expansions. Or Radharani's expansions. Unlike the non-devotees, the Vaishnavas are not influenced by the spirit of enjoyment to consider the energies of Narayani, the mother of the universe, as supreme. Because in this drama, when the Vaishnavas, they see those energies like my mother, they see all these ladies like my mother, then they're not disturbed. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy begins to flow. When they see all the mothers as expansions of Srimati Radharani. Mata putre jina hoy sneha anurag e mata sabare dilena uprama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. At that time, when the devotees began to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like their mother, and they had so much respect for their mother, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had the same feelings. He gave everyone the same feelings that a mother has for the children. And they had the same feelings to him like a child has for the mother. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did something very amazing. Matribhave Vishambhara Sabare Daristana Dana Puraya Param Snigdha Puraya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. At that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one at a time took the devotees on his lap, lowered down his choli, and he began to breastfeed them. And what was the reaction of the devotees? Anande Vaishnava Sava Korishana Koti Koti Janta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hey, Vaishnavas, and all those Vaishnavas became so, could you imagine? Drinking the breast milk from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It's pretty good. Huh? They became so ecstatic. Koti Koti Janmajay Mahabhagyavan. They became the most fortunate. Millions and billions of lifetimes drinking that milk from the breast of the Lord. Stanapai Sabaya Viraha Devajura Murashe Sabe Matra Hare Prachura. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. It's a very deep thing. Stanapana Sabara Viraha Gela. When they drank that milk from the breast of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then all the feelings that they had in their heart of separation from the Lord, because in this world, everyone, either consciously or unconsciously, feels separation from the Lord, because our constitutional position is to be servants of the Lord. So whether we're conscious of it or not conscious of it, everyone is feeling some separation. We don't feel rightly situated until we're a servant of the Lord. That's our natural constitutional position. And so when they drank that milk from the breast of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all their feelings of separation were mitigated. And what happened then? Prema rase sabha mata hoila prachura. They all became mad. They became intoxicated on that breast milk of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the Krishna consciousness movement. This is how this Krishna conscious movement began. And this is the meaning of this Krishna conscious movement. Giving respect to others. Everyone in this world is tortured by the arrows of Cupid. And this is a relief from those arrows of Cupid when we can see ladies as mothers and give them proper respect and see them, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta says, even as expansions of Srimati Radharani. And when we see like that and we give proper respect as mothers, then all those lusty desires and lusty feelings go away. So this is the sublimity of the position of mothers, the position of motherhood. Inherent within that quality, the female body, are these two qualities. Suffering, as soon as they're in childbirth, and suffering in so many ways because they're the weaker sex. They need to be protected. And they're oftentimes exploited. And they suffer in so many different ways. That suffering, practically it's inherent within that body. If you're going to give birth, you're going to fulfill your female body role, there's going to be so much suffering in birth. But there's also great sublimity. These two qualities are seen. And we can see them in the pastimes of these two great consorts of the Lord, Sita and Rukmini. So thank you very much. I don't know what is a proper etiquette because I'm just a Videshi, entering into your Desh. So should we have a few minutes for questions or comments? Mother Lakshmi, would you like to say anything? Okay, is it all right? I didn't do anything wrong? Okay, anybody else with any burning questions or any comments?
You were saying we don't say we say Radha Krishna. We don't say Krishna's name first. But I had this question a couple days ago. But we say Krishna Balaram. But why don't we say Balaram?
Not give as much respect as Radharani. We can understand from that. Even though Krishna's a younger brother, he's getting more respect from himself than Balaram. But in the case of Radharani, Radharani's name comes first. That's the only comment I could give.
Sometimes they say Kishore, Kishore.
Sometimes we say Kishore, Kishore. Prabhupada gave that name, right? Yeah. And they're so beautiful too. People in Chicago. This is a general principle. It's not a bad word. It's not a bad thing. It's a cultural thing. And for me personally, I can tell you, I really don't care. Sometimes the devotees make a big drama out of it. Because Srila Prabhupada, he addressed Jamuna, Malati, and other ladies, he addressed them as Prabhu, sometimes in letters and things. I have kind of a hard time with it, to tell you the truth. I live in Orissa, and you just don't address ladies as Prabhu in that place, because it's weird. It's just, it would be like addressing a lady in America or Canada as Mr. or Sir. It's just the wrong kind of gender. But Prabhupada addressed them in that way, and there's no harm in that.
Prabhupada didn't use Prabhu as being synonymous with
It's
Mr.
gender. Right.
He said, I mean, a sentence that he said, or several times he said, that we should always see every other devotee as Prabhu. And all of us see each other as our master. And so we see each of us as Prabhu. And not that I call myself, when someone says, what's your name? You say, so-and-so.
Gopal Bhatta Goswami, in his Satvya-Sadipika, he describes that Madhavi Devi, associated with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, describes her as a sannyasini. Prabhupada said there's no such thing as ladies taking sannyas, but she's described like that in terms of her renunciation, in terms of her advancement. She wasn't categorized just because of her husband. And when someone becomes a Vaishnavi, just like Prabhupada, there's a famous story that Prabhupada was, he was telling Jamuna once, he said, women are less intelligent.
Yeah.
And he said it several times in front of Jamuna. Prabhupada had a very loving relationship with her. He was kind of poking her to see what she would say. And Jamuna was just very humble. She said, yes, Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada couldn't tolerate it. He said, but not you. You're a Vaishnavi. You're a devotee. So a devotee, we don't consider like that. And when we say women are less intelligent, what does that mean? Saraswati Devi, the goddess of knowledge, she's a woman. Radharani, she's a woman. So it means, my understanding is that in general cases, we have Shakti, Shaktiman, Prakriti, and Purush. There's yin and yang, there's always a male and female energy. And generally, men like to be superior in the sense that they want to be doing things and be in control of things. And women are their support behind them. So in that sense, not because they're a lesser thing, in fact, they're more. And Vedic culture is that wonderful culture which gives respect to women. We can see how elevated a culture is by how they treat women. And I don't care how many rounds a day they're chanting or doing this or that. If there's no respect given to women, Manasamhita says that all your sacrifices and things are not going to be fruitful. And people are not going to be happy. And we've seen it. It's a very, very unfortunate thing. Okay? All right, thank you very much. Would you have something?
Yeah. I once actually heard a story by your Guru Maharaj, Gaur Govind Swami, where he talked about how Narada Muni had performed it was like a pastime where he approached Rukmini and said Krishna had a fever, and he said he needs the dust.
Krishna has what?
Krishna has a fever. A fever.
Krishna has a fever.
Yeah. And he wants the dust of your lotus feet to Rukmini. And I think her response, I may be paraphrasing, but something along the lines of, I cannot do that. Whereas when Krishna had approached, or when Narada Muni had approached the gopis, they said, take as much dust as you like.
And do you know what happened to that dust?
No.
They took it by the truckloads to Dwarka, and we have it on our forehead. That's Gopi Chanda. And that's why we wear Gopi Chanda tilak. Some people like to wear Radhakund tilak. You say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wore Radhakund tilak. And it's a fact. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami makes a big thing out of the fact that Mahaprabhu put on tilak there. Why does he make a big thing out of it? We can understand, because he makes a big thing out of it, he must have been wearing some different tilak prior to that, which is our Gopi Chandan tilak. And the Gopi Chandan tilak is so dear that when Dwarka was disappearing, there's a very special deity, if I can get the story right, that Rukmini, she once asked Krishna, what was your form in Braj? I'd like to see that. And so Krishna gave her a deity of his form in Braj. And then when Dwarka disappeared under the water, then Krishna took shelter of that Gopi Chandan tilak, that deity took shelter. And later, one captain of a boat, he was looking for some ballast, some weight for his boat, and he happened to pick up this big rock of tilak. And he was sailing off the coast of southern India, and there was some trouble, there was some bad storm, and he didn't know how to come into the shore because of the rocks. And one sadhu was on this shore, and named Madhvacharya. And he started waving his cloth and guiding him in. And so he saved the captain, his boat. And the captain told him, look, whatever wealth, anything you want, I'll give you. And the sadhu said, I'll just take this rock, this chunk of Gopi Tilak, because he knew Gopi Chandan Tilak, who was inside, and that was Udupi Krishna. So Madhvacharya, he wore Gopi Chandan Tilak. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can understand, he wore Gopi Chandan Tilak. It's a pretty special thing, based on the story. Okay, Mataji?
Therefore, Gopi Chandan Tilak is better than Radha Kunda.
I don't know. For me it is. Do you know why it's better for me? Because this is a tilak my Guru Maharaj wears.
Okay.
And this is a tilak Srila Prabhupada, my Param Gurudev, wears. And we show what line we follow by our tilak. And so I like to wear this tilak. It's better for me.
Since it's so precious, Radha Kunda.
Yeah, Radhakunda's all, there's no harm if somebody, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. Prabhupada, there was many devotees, I think Lakshmi Muni Maharaj, you could comment, I've seen pictures of Vishnu Jan Maharaj sometimes with Radhakund Tilak and some different devotees. Prabhupada didn't make an issue out of it.
No, I didn't make it, but most of the devotees didn't wear it. It wasn't very common.
Yeah.
Once in a while, they'd go through some stage where they'd wear it for a little while.
It's cool.
They'd get, a two-piece thing from some girl at Radhakund, and they'd put, but
Now it's
it
20
never
rupees.
became a big thing. It's gone up, inflation,
But we wear, Prabhupada, I never saw any pictures of Prabhupada wearing Radhakund Tilak. We do that. Okay? So thank you all very much for letting me take part in your community. It's so wonderful. One thing I'd like to share with you, that in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says that when you chant Krishna Nam, Name Prasvatito Hai Rupa Guna, that name manifests in the form of a deity. So you've all been doing such nice Krishna Kirtan here, such beautiful deities have manifested. And now, by your chanting and desire to serve, now you have some opportunity. But thank you very much for letting me take part. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki jai, Vansha Kalpagari Vishchanti Vasundha Vyeda Vichanti Vikanam Karmani Vaishnava
Krishna Kunda, I sent you a Skype message and an email with the version tomorrow. It's 7817. 7817.
Sincerely thank His Grace Madhavananda Prabhu, Mother Krishna Kunda Devidasi, and Prabhupada's disciple Mother Lakshmana Devidasi. Hare Krishna. We are so pleased and we are so happy, so blessed because of your presence. And actually Prabhu enlightened us with so many things about mothers, about Mother Rukmini, about Mother Sita, about all the mothers, all Vaishnavis. And now we know the meaning of Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you from our heart. Hare Krishna. And now the prasadam will be served actually in the other room. And Mataji wants to talk something.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I would just like to inform everyone, we have an email magazine, Shri Krishna Katamrita Bindu, free email magazine online. You can get this directly into your inbox. It's 4 pages of Krishna Katha. Just something from Srila Prabhupada, something from our acharyas, and in every issue we have something newly translated, some fresh translations, some research that Mankipati is doing. So if anybody is interested, you are welcome to subscribe to that. You can come and see me there, and I'll take your email address and you will get it.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you for the information, and if anyone is interested, see Mataji. Thank you. So we're going to have our prasadam, and before that, can we ask any Mataji to actually do the prayer for Mahaprasada? Any Mataji? No, so we want to have the Mataji today. Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. See, you're the good, nice. Yeah.
Mahaprasade Govinde,
Mahaprasade Govinde,
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave,
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave,
Sarvapurnya Vedam Rajan,
Sarvapurnya Vedam Rajan,
विश्वासने विजयते शरीर विद्याचार चोरिंद्रियता है काल जीव पहले विषय सागरे तारा माता जीवते लोभो मोह सुधरमते ताकि जीता कली न संसारे कृष्ण बरदयमय हरि पर जीवे जाय सुप्रसाद न दिलो पाय सिमरित पाओ राधा कृष्ण गाओ प्रेम राखो श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभ महाप्रसाद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे
Ha ha ha.